Hi there, it's Joe Simons here with Retirement Think Tank, and today in this video we're going to do a rebuttal to an article in Forbes that we recently came across by Larry Light called Beware Annuities Hidden Costs. Now this article, and the reason that we're going to do a rebuttal on it, is we talk about being fair and balanced, and this article is not. And fair and balanced is on both sides of the spectrum, right? Because we talk about sometimes you have articles and advertisements that are completely just misleading and talk about annuities in such a positive light that you think they were God's greatest gift to earth. And then you have other ones that are just bashing annuities so bad where it's just not fair to the people who do own them and are trying to do solid research on it. And this was a little bit too far in that spectrum where it was just kind of bashing them and didn't really say anything positive, because annuities can be very, very positive. Now, from what I can tell, this article that Larry Light put together kind of took a lot of information from Roger Wohlner, a fee-based advisor in Arlington Heights, Illinois. And I've researched Roger before, and I've seen some of his things. He's got a great website. He really puts good content out there. So for both of you watching, if you see it, we're not trying to bash you, just trying to move you down the spectrum a little bit more and talk about some of the good things, but also talk about some of your positive points as well, because you did nail a couple things that I think a lot of consumers need to hear and know. So it starts off just on the bad foot. Annuities sound like a good deal for retirees, but very often aren't. And you just can't say that. They're not always bad, or more often bad than good. Sometimes they're really bad for people, and sometimes they're incredibly good for people. I personally own an annuity. I know many people that do. I used to help sell tons of annuities, billions of dollars worth of annuities, and some were probably sold the wrong way, or the wrong person bought them, and some weren't. It's the same with a car or a boat or anything out there. I mean, nothing can be perfect for everyone, but you do have to be fair and balanced and say the good and the bad. Now, the whole gist of this article was that he's talking about seminar marketing, and I guess Roger here had received some kind of mailer, and for you baby boomers watching and retirees, you probably receive these mailers depending on where you are in the country that invite you to some seminar where you are going to be sold something, and Roger does, make it very clear that you are going to be sold something at these seminars, and the person giving it, the financial professional or estate planner or whatever it is, he or she is going to be trying to sell something. And I don't think anything was really wrong with that, as we're consumer advocates, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. I was recently in a five-star resort in a vacation place, and they tried to sell me really hard, and my wife and I, and actually brought in their second gun, their hired shooter, to really sell us on a timeshare deal. And it was serious selling. And I've been in some selling situations before, and we were like blown away. And of course we ended up saying no and got a couple $1,000s worth of free gifts, but just know that if you go to these, you are going to be sold. So what he said in here is 100% correct. But where I have a problem with it is he talks about, ask yourself, is this process really the best route to find a financial advisor? And I don't think he can say it is, or me or anybody else. For some people it is. I've met a lot of people who have met their financial advisor at some of these workshops or seminars or whatever you want to call them, or free dinners, and this is not always a bad thing. So Roger, you can't bash it just because you don't market this way. This can be a very effective way for financial professionals to meet people and to get their message across. And for some advisors who are really good in front of an audience and are not going to sit there and just be product pushers and mislead people, I think it's a great thing. On the other hand, if they're misleading and really doing hardcore sales and being super aggressive, then I completely agree with you. Probably not a good fit and not a good place to meet someone. But end of the day, it's going to be up to you, just like my wife and I, to resist the pressure and decide, hey, is this a good deal for me or not? Does it make sense for my long-term and short-term goals, or does it not? Now, the other part that I had a little bit of an issue with, just because I do know Fran Tarkenton, I'm not personal friends with him or anything, but I know who he is and of his company. But it talks about that this individual who was sponsoring this actual seminar where he got the mailing card from used to, I guess, be underneath probably the hierarchy of Tarkenton Financial, from what I can read on this. And Tarkenton Financial, run by Fran Tarkenton, an old Hall of Famer there in the NFL, it is a marketing company. It is not a company that markets to consumers. They actually help financial advisors market to consumers. They basically help financial professionals get in front of more consumers, more ideal clients, and help them market and sell better. They are not a consumer advocate, although I know the products that they sell and end up distributing do help the end consumer. But I think it's unfair just to kind of throw Friend under the bus, or any of these independent marketing organizations that don't have a lot of stuff about consumers on their website. They're not supposed to. And that was really what they kind of hit Friend on the head pretty hard here, is saying, hey, we didn't see anything on Friend's site or anywhere in his ads talking about how he can help out consumers. And at the end of the day, he's not helping out consumers. First and foremost, he's helping out financial professionals, which are his clients, and then his clients' clients are the consumers. So I just don't think it's fair to throw Fran under the bus for that. Now, at the very end, he talks about, this leads me to believe that there will be a lot of direct and indirect selling at this annuity dinner session, and a little bit about helping attendees achieve financial and retirement goals. And that part, I think, is a little bit misleading as well. I've personally been to a few of these financial dinner workshops, and one of them I thought was incredibly educational. Another one I thought was moderately, and then one was just, kind of okay. But in no time did I ever think that I was being, or the people that were being sold really hard. There was good information, and yes, of course, at the end, they are going to try to get an appointment with you, and that's when you have to decide, does it make sense for me or not? I would never feel obligated just because they gave you a free dinner to do it. Like I mentioned, in this trip, in this vacation rental deal, I mean, we literally got thousands of dollars worth of stuff, not just a $150 meal. We got thousands of dollars worth of free stuff. My wife got to go to the spa, and we got 4 free nights at this place, which was close to $1,000 a night. I mean, we got some incredible stuff, and I said no. I didn't give them a single penny. So don't ever feel obligated like you have to do that. Now, I also want to point out that you will be sold. I mean, they are going to try to get a return on their investment, which makes sense. But at the end of the day, the only way you can ever be, screwed or whatever is if you end up saying yes to that person and then never researching what you're buying from them, or her. So don't ever feel like you're just getting scammed just by going to a dinner seminar. Because they can be really educational and actually a really good place to meet the right financial advisor. Now, I think the biggest problem, there's huge irony here, is some of the misleading marketing out there. And you might be able to see this, you might not, but right here next to this, and I printed this off of Forbes, there's one of these 8% guaranteed for life annuities ads right here on the page, and to me, some of that stuff is misleading. So you have to be careful with all this. Just know what you're getting, and don't ever buy something just because, or feel like you're obligated to do something because someone bought you a dinner. But don't be afraid of them as well. He also says, I have nothing against annuities, only against how they are often sold and against how many annuity products are pushed by insurance agents and registered reps. I agree with that 100%, just like this ad over here, completely misleading in some cases to think you can get an 8% return and walk away from it. Now at the very end, talks about fixed annuities, index annuities, and variable annuities. Variable annuities do have high fees. I agree with them. Talks about fixed annuities and asks, is the insurance company taking excessive risk, and will it sustain the returns needed to maintain the payments? I've never known anyone who's lost money in that because of the insurance company taking excessive risk. I think insurance companies, compared to banks and other financial institutions and hedge funds and investment banks, are very, very well capitalized and have some pretty huge reserves. So to me, I don't think that's the biggest deal. I would look to high-rated companies when you're looking at fixed rates like that. The index annuity part, though, he does say that they're often capitalized on fears of seniors and others in the wake of a down market. Typically, the returns of these annuities are based on some percentage of an index such as the S&P 500 with some minimum guaranteed floor, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, part of that's true and part of it's not. I mean, I don't think it just capitalizes on the fears. I think that's a reason that some people buy them, and I think that's why it's a fit for some people that just don't want to be in the market anymore. But our friend Stan the Annuity Man says it, I think, really, really well, is buy these index annuities for what they will do. Like contractually, like buying for the income riders or the income that they're getting, not what they might do. And if you do have a financial professional that's telling you you're going to get 7-8% and walk away with it, like that's what the annuity is going to do because the S&P is averaged that much for the last 10 years, then run away as fast as you can. And I completely back up the writer here in Forbes and Roger, I believe his name was. in this article. If someone's promising you that or saying that here's what it should do as far as these crazy returns and then run away, but if they're explaining it the correct way, that here's what contraction will do and here's the contractual lifetime income, and it makes sense for your plan and your goals and your life, then by all means, awesome. But make sure you research the actual contract. Make sure that you have exactly what that financial professional or insurance agent is promising you that you will get with that annuity. And that is it. Other than that, the article is pretty short, but a couple corrections and a couple little small rebuttals just to move it a little bit down the line as far as a little bit more fair and balanced. We'll have a whole lot more coming to you here at Retirement Think Tank.